Truth changes everything. Truth changes everything. Truth, that which is honest, real, genuine, authentic, factual, legitimate. The Latin word is veritas. Truth changes everything and is powerful, isn't it? Have you ever had a moment in your life where you learned the truth and everything changed? You learned the truth about that person or about that place, about that system or that process or that institution, and your perspective changed. The way you related changed. Everything changed when you learned the truth. I'll never forget when I came home from work. One day I walked into the garage. I hit the garage door button and the garage door started to close. And I was horrified to learn that we had been victims of vandals. Someone had vandalized our property, taken a red bottle of spray paint and spray painted a huge bullseye on our garage door. But I had my suspicions that it wasn't anyone outside of the house. So I gathered our whole family together, every kid, all 4 kids lined up in the kitchen, and one by one, we interrogated them to find the truth. Who was the culprit? Who was the vandal? I'll never forget when I asked Keegan to hold open his hands, and his right hand was marred with red spray paint, and the truth was exposed. The truth was revealed. It's hard to accept the truth. It's hard to admit the truth when you've made a mistake, isn't it? But when we learn the truth, when we know the truth, it allows us the ability to make the best steps forward, to decide the best ways forward. Truth actually opens up pathways to healing, to repairing relationships, to reconciliation. Truth offers guardrails. Truth offers boundaries in our life that we can live after and chase after. We see in the good news accounts of Jesus' life that it was said of him that Jesus was full of grace and truth. He was filled up to the brim with grace and with truth, with that which was honest and real. He was the one true God, legitimate God walking among us. And we see these interactions in Jesus' life where he introduces truth into the situation. In John chapter 8, we read of a story of a group of religious men who find a woman caught. The truth about this woman is exposed and she's caught in the act of adultery. They drag this woman into a public place where Jesus is teaching, and her sin and her shame are exposed. They are seething with hatred and bitterness towards Jesus, and judgment and condemnation towards this woman. And how Jesus responds in this moment is full of grace and truth, and a truth that changes the very circumstance and the situation of all the individuals in that space. Jesus says to the men holding stones in their hands, "Have you sinned? Let him who is without sin throw the first stone." He speaks truth to them. Jesus speaks a confronting truth to rage-filled men. And he says, let him who is without sin throw the first stone. And that truth hits them in their head and in their heart. And one by one, the stones that were meant for a woman caught in sin drop as they are confronted with the truth, as the truth is exposed in them, that they are judgmental, arrogant, bitter, rage-filled, pride-filled, arrogant. He turns to the woman and he says, those that are here to condemn you, they're nowhere, and neither do I condemn you. He shares a truth that comforts. Jesus walked full of grace and truth and extends grace to a woman who was caught, who the truth was exposed about. We see truth ooze out of Jesus' life. And he calls people to trust in God as the one true God, to unload all of the lies that we can chase after, to walk away from all of the idols that we can put in place of God, and to fully trust the truth that God is the one true God. I love what the psalmist writes in Psalm 25. He writes this, "Show me your ways, Lord. Teach me your paths. Guide me in your truth and teach me, for you are God, my Savior." He prays, show me your ways, O Lord. Teach me your truth. Guide me in your path. That you are my hope. You are my Lord. You are my Savior. Why is the psalmist praying that he would be filled and directed and guided by the truth. Because you and I know the power and the pain of an untruth, a lie. Have you ever lived your life believing something that was a lie, that wasn't true? Man, what destruction has been caused by people who have withheld the truth, or who have not been truthful, who have not lived truthfully, who have not trusted the Lord and his ways of goodness and mercy and grace. And what happens when we allow the truth of God's goodness to direct our life? That truth sets us free. Jesus says, he says, if you listen to my teaching, if you follow my commands, if you really are my disciples, if you follow after me, then you will know the truth. The truth will be exposed in you and will lead you and will guide you and will correct you. And that truth will set you free. That truth changes everything. May the truth change everything in our lives.